everyone, today I'm going to read a story. The title of this story is My Asthma Attack. Running the Mile. It was a warm day and class was excited for the yearly fitness test. It was time to run the mile. This year I'm going to be first. I want that big blue ribbon and a letter from the president. We all stood at the starting line, stretching and getting ready. On your mark, get set, Mr. Markle, the gym teacher called. We all leaned forward, ready to take off. Mr. Markle blew the whistle. I flew off the line. My leg felt strong and quick, and my lungs were full. After the first lap, I was in the lead and felt good. I really had a chance this year. I could win it all. The attack. Halfway through the second lap, I tried to take a deep breath, and it hurt. No, not now, I thought. I can't have an asthma attack today. I tried to take another breath. It felt as if something huge was sitting on my chest. I stopped running and slowly crossed the field. Mr. Markle ran to meet me. I was starting to wheeze. You're going to be okay. Just stay calm and we'll get you to the nurse's office, said Mr. Markle. Mr. Markle said he asked my friend Lauren to walk with me. Nurse Marsh. I felt like a long walk. I was wheezing and gasping with every step, knowing that the nurse had my inhaler keeping me moving. If I could just make it there, I'd be fine. The nurse, Mrs. Marsh, jumped out from her desk. She opened a wide drawer, pulling out an inhaler, read my name, and handed it to me. I shook it, squeezed, and inhaled. A very little medicine came out. Not enough. I tried again. My inhaler was empty. I panicked. Panic was the worst thing I can do. My breathing became quicker, but I wasn't getting any more air. The room began to spin. Mrs. Marsh called an ambulance. Then she joined Lauren trying to calm me down. It helped a little. Riding in the ambulance. The paramedic shows up and helped me to the ambulance. They had me put a plastic mask over my mouth and told me to breathe deeply. They said it was medicine, but it tastes bad. It helped, though. The paramedic kept checking me over. The ambulance spread through the traffic with the siren blaring. The ride would have been fun if I had felt better. When we reached the hospital, the paramedic took the mask away. I'm feeling okay now, I said. Can I go back to school? I still want to finish my mile. Not yet. You need to see a doctor first. The paramedic said. He helped me put me out of the ambulance and took me into the hospital. At the hospital, he had me sit on the bed and roll in a row of bed. Soon a doctor showed up. She had me breathe through a tube while she examined me. The tube was attached to a boxy medicine that sounded as though it was breathing. Dad showed up a few minutes later. He looked worried, but he relaxed when I waved and smiled at him. "Look like you've had a pretty bad asthma attack," the doctor said to me. She took the tube away. "There's a lot of pollen in the air. Pollen must be one of your triggers. Next time, tell your teacher you need to run inside." "I know," I said. "I just want to run against everyone else in the fitness test. Your health is more important. Besides, the only thing that matters in winning the blue ribbon is your time," the doctor said. "I'm sure your teacher will let you retake the test." After that day, I always checked the pollen report on the news. I stay away from my other trigger. I also made sure Mrs. Moore had a full inhaler just in case. Oh, and I beat everyone else in the running and the miles that year, but I ran in style. What happened right after the girls stopped running and crossed the field? The gym teacher blew the whistle. The girl's legs were strong and quick and a lung of wool. Mr. Markle ran to meet her. The ambulance speeded her to the hospital. I just see teachers are to daily learning as paramedic are to emergency care, asthma attack, fitness test, lifetime friend. I choose B. Which example from the test showed that the girl needs help staying calm? I shook it, squeeze and inhale. I panicked. Panic is the worst thing I could do. Mrs. Morris called the ambulance. The nurse, Mrs. Morris, jumped out from her desk. I choose B. Why did another write this book? To entertain readers with a story about riding in an ambulance to the hospital. To persuade readers with asthma to never run in fitness tests. To inform reader of one person experience with an asthma attack. To inform reader that people with asthma are not healthy and are always in the hospital. I choose I choose See what happened just before the girl panicked. Mrs. Marsh called the ambulance. Laura walked the main character to the nurse's office. The main character arrived in an ambulance. The main character realized her inhaler is empty. I choose D. Read the following sentence. It felt as if something huge was sitting in my chest. The author used the word in the sentence to show that the girl is nervous about the race. The girl is having a hard time breathing. Running's hard to do even if you don't have asthma. People should always check pollen report on the news. I choose B. Which sentence from the story helped the reader know that the girl liked to set goals? We all stood in the starting line stretching and getting ready. He looked worried, but he relaxed when I waved and smiled at him. I also made sure Mrs. Majas had a full inhaler just in case. I wanted that big Robin inhaler from the president. I choose D. Which of the following sentence from the book shows a problem? Mrs. Marsh called an ambulance. Very little medicine came out, not enough. The tube was attached to a boxy medicine that sounded as though it was breathing. The ambulance sped through traffic with a siren boring. I choose B. The girl began to wheeze, which means to feel a sudden or uncontrollable fear or worry, to make a rattling or whistling and sound while breathing, cause something else to take place, to breathe in medicine. I choose A. What happened after the girl's dad shows up at the hospital? The paramedic shows up. The ambulance takes her back to school. Mrs. Marsh called the ambulance. The doctor talked to them about her asthma attack. I choose B.
You did not pass this quiz. Read the book again or try a different book.
I got 7 out of 10 right. Thank you for listening. Goodbye!